So before we kick it off, I'm going to take a second just to say thank you very much to Cameron and Jolie and everybody who put this together. It's a wonderful event, and really props for the execution and engagement and everything. You've built more than just a small conference here. So without further ado, let's dive into this. I'm going to talk about academic credentialing today and how to go beyond this and what the transformative power of NFTs really is. Here we go. So last year, and I bet you've seen this quite a few times today, last year and end of 2017, we really went from 0 to almost 1. I'm saying almost 1 because the use cases that we see today are still mostly in the collectibles and gaming space. Now, this is all good because gaming has often proven to be a catalyst for adoption of new technologies. But the point is that we really can go beyond this with non-fungible tokens. So the way we see sort of next steps is really mass adoption. There's obviously certain challenges that we have, and we've spoken about these quite a lot today, ranging from scalability issues, transaction throughput, as well as just end-user facing problems like user experiences. Now, for our part, we focus heavily on the tooling and on real-life examples that are really outside of gaming and collectibles. So, academic credentials, it's a difficult topic, and I want to first talk a little bit about why we decided to go into this. There's a few reasons for this. If we look at just the amount of fakes being produced is it's quite staggering. I just seen a news. I'm from Slovenia actually, and I've seen a piece of news that one of our doctors in one of the biggest hospitals in Slovenia was caught having a fake degree. Now, this is actually a sad reality. We've got about 5,000 diploma mills on the planet operating right now. But you know, apart from that, we also have a lot of friction in these systems. And we've heard about these things. Ultimately, this boils down to cost, right? If universities and larger systems need to interact with each other, we have a lot of student mobility, for instance. That's just a lot of friction. Long processing times, as well as long verification times. But the biggest one, I think, is the shift in the job market. So we're going away from a traditional model that's focused only on do you have a master's in this? Do you have a PhD in this? Do you have a bachelor in this? Employers are actually seeking out skills, which means that the education system should adapt to this as well. Now, out of all this, the Micro-HE project was born. This is a EU-funded Erasmus Plus project. There's a lot of stakeholders and partners into this. So we're not gonna go deep into that, but I do want to address the sort of left part of this, which is the technology. There's two buzzwords, artificial intelligence and non-fungible tokens. So AI is being used to create a system that is going to help you map out your ideal career path. So if you want to become an astronaut, there's no MA in astronaut, right? But there are certain steps that can be personalized to your specific situation, and that is sort of the AI part of the system. Whereas NFTs are actually being used to issue academic credentials, actually micro-credentials to be precise, because they span a little bit further than just degrees. So sounds good, right? How do we do this? The system for our part, for the credentialing part, is set up really to mimic what's happening right now. So we've got universities that are basically accrediting universities. You've got governments that are accrediting universities with their programs, right? We've set this up as in the NFT space, in the blockchain space, that's called creating all permissions. Now, universities, they do education, they issue credentials, they issue degrees, and it's the same here. Whereas students, on the other hand, are recipients of these. They would receive these credentials and then change them out for larger degrees. The system is set up in a modular way, which means that once you have complementary education coming in, and this is actually increasingly popular with MMOCs and so on, they can plug into this larger system. Now, what we did, we also created a third-party services sort of gateway or plugin which means that at the end of the day, LinkedIn or your HR agency, your job board can be plugged into this as a verifier. This is all really nice, but I think what it comes down is this. We have not created only a simple Lego stack of different technologies. It's actually about creating an ecosystem where new value creation is possible. And I think this makes it also increasingly interesting for companies to come in and participate in this ecosystem. So how do we do this? What's under the hood? We use Ethereum as a base layer. On top of that, the 721 non-fungible token standard. But more importantly, we use this, which is a tool that we've built. It's open source and available on GitHub. It's called the ZeroXert framework and is really built for application developers. So this is an open source JavaScript library that allows you to do a lot of cool stuff in a very simple way. Brian Flynn and Ian, they spoke about interoperability. We sort of addressed this as well, so do have a look at this. Like I said, it's available on GitHub. It's open source. There's no strings attached, so have fun with it. But the point of this is, the point of this talk is to go beyond just one use case or just technology. So what we managed to create here is actually an ecosystem of different partners, scientists, researchers that came together with technology experts. So we are actually a technology partner in this whole project, and we've partnered up with industry experts. And this is what we want to encourage down the line as well. So our company is called ZeroXert. We do a lot of tooling, a lot of development. It's a very tech-oriented company. But we also understand the power and the importance of creating communities and ecosystems around these things. And that's why we are also the power behind the Non-fungible Alliance. It's currently got about 100 members. And the idea really is to go beyond technology. So we want to connect with industry experts, with experts in supply chain, in medicine, in education, whatever, right? Because the point is that this space is, if you look around yourself, it's mostly young developers. And that's fantastic, but this just means that the space collectively might not have all the answers how to solve these extremely difficult problems that maybe supply chain experts do have, right? So this is an initiative that wants to bring together not just the builders in the NFT space, but also go beyond that. So that's it. I did hurry up, so everybody's going to be happy behind me. All right. So if there are any questions, I think we have time for maybe one or two. No? Fair enough. Then grab me afterwards. Thank you very much.